Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to DIY Art Plus. So I'm here with another painting and I'm gonna use all of these supplies. I'm gonna use acrylic paint, and you can also take a picture of this paint name if you like, but basically I'm just using this yellow color. This is red, it's more like orangey red. This is blue, and this is brown, and this is kind of little green but more on a teal side, and this is white and a black color. Okay, so let's start painting. And today I'm using this 8 by 10 size of canvas. Make sure you grab a cup of water, and these are the brushes I'm gonna use. This is a flat and it's number 10 size, and I have a whole bag of this brush, but I'm only gonna use this one. Next one is a round brush again, it's a 0 size, and this next one is also a round brush. This is number 6 size. Alright, so let's start painting. Alright, so now this is the painting I'm gonna paint today. If you like to change it up a little bit, you can change the color of the sky, color of the flowers. So the first thing I'm gonna do is apply some water on my canvas. This will make my painting so much easier to paint and blend all my colors quickly and easily. So I'm just applying a little bit of water everywhere on my canvas. And again, I'm using this 8 by 10 size of canvas. You can use any canvas you have available, and you can also paint on a paper if you like watercolor paper. But as you can see, I just apply a little bit of water here. Now I'm gonna work from top of my canvas and work my way down. I'm gonna work on the sky first, and for that I'm just gonna use my flat brush and my blue color. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of water and mix it with a little bit of blue color, and I'm just gonna apply on top of my canvas. I'm gonna cover about around 2 inches from the top. You can bring your sky more down if you like. And I'm also gonna apply a little bit of white here, and I'm gonna blend both of these colors together like this. Now if you are painting on a framed canvas, you can also do the edges. Alright, now again you can make your sky darker, lighter. I just add a little bit of more blue here, and I'm gonna bring my paint a little bit more down. And after I'm done applying these colors, I usually like to smooth out my brush strokes. So I just start from one side of the edge and bring my brush on the other side, so that way it looks much more cleaner and I don't see a lot of brush strokes there. And I don't want to end up with the one color on my sky, so I'm just keep adding a little bit of more blue and a little bit of more white here to add the different shades of this blue here. And now here I'm all done applying this sky color. You can again do the edges if you like, if you are painting on a framed canvas. Alright, now I'm gonna work on applying the outline of the fall. Now you can again just create a very simple shape, just a straight line if you like. I'm just gonna try a different way here. So I'm gonna draw 2 lines on the top like this, and then I'm gonna add a little diagonal line on both sides like this, and I'm just gonna add another 2 line straight line, and then another diagonal line like that. And as I'm coming down, I'm just making my fall shape outline a little bit more bigger and a little bit more wider. Okay, so now I have an outline of this fall. I'm just gonna color everything inside using that same color. It's It's just a blue color I have here. It's light blue. It's not too dark, so if your blue is too dark, you can just add more more white and just make it a little bit lighter blue here. Alright, so basically I'm just gonna color everything inside first. Now trust the process. I'm gonna add a bunch of other colors here. This is just a background color here. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, don't forget to give a big thumbs up. And as I'm applying this color, I'm also gonna try to fix the shape of the fall I have here. So just trying to make the edges of this outline a little bit more sharp enough so you can clearly see the shape. I'm also gonna apply this color on the bottom right here. It's you can say a river maybe. I'm using the same color here, and just gonna apply a line like this on the bottom, and I'm just gonna color again everything inside here. Again, I'm gonna add more colors here, so this is just a base color. Alright, so here I'm all done with this background color. Now I'm gonna start adding some more colors on this fall and make it look more like it's a fall. So I'm gonna clean my brush here. I'm still gonna use my same brush. Now if you're not comfortable using this brush for this next part, you can also use a small brush, but if you have a flat brush like this, I recommend using this type of a brush. It will give you more line that's gonna looks more cleaner than using a small brush. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of white brush on just the tip of my brush, and I'm just gonna apply some white line coming from top to bottom, so just small little line like this. Okay, just gonna keep adding more lines like that, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the whole fall. I'm gonna go back with some more blue and other color. So again, this is just a different color here I'm applying for now, and I'm gonna apply more white line coming all the way down like this, and I'm gonna blend that with the blue color, so it's not too dark, it's not too white or not too blue. Alright, so now I'm gonna just let everything dry here, and I'm gonna work on the rocks on the edges. So let's work on that. So I'm gonna clean my brush, and I'm gonna use my same brush for this next part. So I'm gonna work on both of these side here, and for that I'm gonna use green color. Now this is more like a teal shade, so I'm gonna take some green and I'm gonna apply it right here. So there is a little mountain in the back there, so I created a shape of little mountain there, and I'm gonna just apply this green color everywhere here. Now I am also using a little bit of water, mostly on the bottom area here, and I'm also gonna do the edges first. Now again, I'm using a darker green on the top, and as I'm coming down, I'm using more water because I'm gonna apply different colors here too later. So I'm just gonna thin down my paint a little bit on the bottom area. Okay, so now I'm gonna start applying this kind of little axis, you can say, so that way again you don't see a brush strokes here. So I'm just creating this type of a texture here by adding axis. Alright, so there you go. Here I'm all done. Now I'm gonna work on a different color here. I'm gonna use a brown color. So I'm gonna start adding the outline first, and I'm just using tip of my brush, just doing the outline around that wall. Now I'm also gonna use one more color here later. I'm gonna use a black color, but I'm just gonna outline with the brown for now. And down here I'm not too worried about this area because I'm gonna again cover that area by adding some little hills. Alright, so now I'm gonna apply some more brown here. Now this area is more like a nice big stone, or I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna apply some brown like this. I'm just adding some vertical lines like this on just some area, and I'm also gonna use a little bit of water with this color because I don't want to apply too dark brown here, so that's why I'm also thinning down my paint with a little bit of water, and I'm just applying my brown color like this. But that's all I'm gonna do here. Alright, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I cleaned my brush. Now I'm gonna work on the other side here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start with the green color first, and I'm gonna apply a nice big hill. I have some big mountains back there, so I add a nice little curvy line, and I'm gonna cover everything on the bottom with the green color, making the top area more darker and the bottom area lighter. And I'm also gonna do the edges as I'm going. So again, I'm gonna use a little bit of water with the green, and I'm thinning down this paint a little bit, just mostly on the bottom of this area. And now I have to turn my canvas this way because I cannot do the other side that easily. So I'm just using also a little bit of white color here because that seems too dark. Okay, so I'm just basically doing the outline right now with the green. Alright, and now I'm just gonna go back and smooth out these brush strokes a little bit, and I'm just gonna apply this type of axis. I'm not using any more paint here. I'm just going over that area to just give different texture here. Okay, so I'm gonna clean my brush again, and I'm gonna work on the outline again using brown this time. So I'm gonna just take my brown, just gonna use tip of my brush, and I'm gonna have to again turn my canvas this way, and I'm just doing the outline. Alright, I'm also gonna add a little bit of brown just on the tip of this area right here on both sides. Okay, and just like I did on the other side, I'm just gonna apply some little vertical lines, small little lines like this. That's gonna work as a like it's a shadows, and you can also see some soil there. So again, I don't have to explain you this part, but I'm just applying some brown like this. Okay, so here I'm all done with this brush and this color. I'm gonna clean my brush. Now if you are also using acrylic brush, acrylic colors, make sure you clean your brush as you go, otherwise it's just gonna dry out and you cannot use these brushes again. So I'm done with this brush. I'm gonna use my round brush. Again, this is number 6 size, and I'm gonna use green color, and I'm gonna apply a different way here this time. So I'm gonna work on the top of this area, and all I'm doing is adding some depths there. That's gonna look like more, there are some more trees in the back. You cannot see a clear shape, but you see bunch of trees all the way in the back there. And I'm working just on the edges, so that way it don't look a straight line there. So now you can see the difference here. Okay, so now I'm also going to do the same thing just on random area. I'm mostly going on the green area and adding some more green by adding this type of like dabs there. I'm just gonna dab and to create that type of texture. So I want to add a little bit more right here. So I take a little bit of green, apply that type of more dabs there. Again, I'm not going everywhere, just on some area and mostly on the green area. I'm trying not to hide all the browns that I applied. And as I'm coming down, I'm just applying less and less. More on the top area is more darker, on the bottom it's not too dark. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, I'm just working on just the green area, light green area that I have in the back, and just adding more darker green on the top. But I'm not completely hiding that light green that I have in the back. And I'm not too worried about this bottom area here, because again I'm gonna apply a little heel there to where I can add also my tree there. So if you feel like it's too dark, you can always go back with some more light color here if you like. But I feel like I'm just gonna apply more darker green on the top again. But I'm almost done with this color here. but I think I'm all done here. I feel like sometimes I'm overdoing that, but I think this is looking good. Now I'm gonna clean my brush and I'm gonna work on my fall again. And I really want to use little turquoisey color here, so I'm gonna make that color here. I'm just gonna use two colors here, white and green. It's almost like mint green, but after I apply that on this fall, it's gonna look more like turquoise color here. And I'm using same brush again, and I'm just adding this type of water coming down like this. Now again, I'm not really hiding that blue I have in the background. I'm just gonna apply this color like this, but you still can see the color that I have in the background here. Okay, so I add more of this color just on the top. Now I like to make my color as I go, so I don't end up with just one color on the painting. So this time I make my color a little bit more darker than last time. I don't really plan to, but it's always a different shade every time I make this color. And I'm just randomly just applying just on the bottom like this, a little bit on top again. And don't forget the bottom of this area here. I'm also gonna apply this color there. And I'm also going all the way to these edges of this fall, just like this. Just going one time, applying that color one time on the edges too. Okay, now I'm just gonna use some more white here, and just a white this time. If you like to use a small brush for this, you can. I'm just gonna keep using my middle brush here. And this is how I'm adding some white. Just starting from the top, bringing my paint down. Now I'm gonna have to shape this a little bit better after I'm done applying these white lines here. So for now, I'm just mainly adding just some of this white line. I'm gonna add more white colors on the edges or the bottom of the each area. I'll show you what I mean later, but I'm just applying this white line mostly also on the edges and in the middle here. Okay, so now this is the part where it's gonna make more sense and it's easy to understand. So do you remember how I added that diagonal line earlier? On that area, I'm gonna add more white, so something like this. I'm just adding more white like this, white line. Okay, that's where all the water is falling down, so that's why you see more white there. Okay, so now on the bottom area here, I'm not gonna apply too much of this line, just some line you can see there. But on the top of this area, I'm going back again with some more white. I ran out of my paint, I have to grab some more, but I'm just applying more. You can see a sharp line basically there. Okay, and then again on the bottom I'm just gonna add some lines there. I'm not again adding too much on the bottom. Alright, so now I'm gonna do the same thing with each section I have here. So again, this is the bottom area. I'm gonna do the same thing for this area here too. Again, I'm only gonna apply this color on that diagonal area that I have here. So I'm applying just a white, more white on that area, less when I'm bringing the paint, when I'm bringing that water a little bit more falling down there. Okay, so the same thing for this one last area here. Okay, and then I'm also gonna do the same thing from where the water is coming from top. So just adding more white just on the top of this area here. And just lightly brushing those paint down like that. And if you feel like you apply too much white here, you can always go back with the different colors you like. I'm just gonna go back with a little bit of more blue here, but not too dark blue. I'm just using a little bit of water also here. So just going mostly on the bottom of these edges like that. This time I'm starting from bottom and bringing my paint up and just making some area a little bit more darker. Okay, I think this is looking good. Now I'm gonna work on the water on the bottom, and I'm gonna use that green color that I used last time. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of white, a little bit of green, and using this light mint green and applying just randomly like this on the bottom. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit of blue here, light blue, and just light green again. You can just work around on this area. You can make it darker, lighter again. It's up to you. Alright, and here I'm all done. Now I'm also gonna apply this light green color under the fall area. So something like this. I'm just gonna apply this color here. Now I don't want to completely hide that white in the background. I'm just gonna make it a little bit lighter there. Okay, so now I'm gonna let everything dry on this area here, and I'm gonna work on the top again. I'm gonna use my small round brush, and I'm gonna use some white color, and I'm gonna add some clouds. Now this is how I'm adding the clouds. Just adding a little bit of paint first and just spreading that out a little bit like this. You know how the clouds are. There is no perfect shape for the clouds, but I'm just adding some clouds like this. Okay, I think this is looking good. You can also use your fingers to smooth out the brush strokes if you like. Alright, now I'm gonna add some trees. So I clean my brush and I'm just using this regular green, and I add a little bit of water here because my paint I have here, it's very thick. Alright, so I'm gonna add just tree trunk, you can say, like that, just randomly on the top. It's all tall trees. And then I'm just gonna add the branches like this. It's a Christmas tree. I like to say Christmas tree. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with all other trees here. I'm also gonna add some more trees here. Those are gonna be a little bit smaller, so okay, so now I'm gonna add some small tree here. Again, same thing, I just add a little line for the branch, and you can also skip that if it's too small. Just add those type of branches there. Alright, now I'm gonna add one more color here, is a black color. I thin down my paint, just randomly adding a little black on my tree, not going everywhere, just on some area to add some more shadows on these trees. Okay, I'm also gonna add some more black color, more shadows also on this whole the ground I have here. So adding just a little bit of black touch also on the top like this, not going again everywhere, just lightly brushing on some area like that. Alright, I'm also gonna do the same thing with this fall outline. So just going on the edges like this, just lightly again brushing, and that's gonna look more like there are some shadows in that area. Now if you think it looks like it's very simple painting, but it's very detailed painting too. Yeah, now I'm also gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and I'm also gonna do the same thing just on random places like this on that green area here. Just applying a little touch of this black. Now this is my normal speed, I'm not going fast. I did not fast forward this video at all. So this is my normal speed. I'm just lightly just applying this black color just on some places here. Okay, now same thing on the other side. I feel like I want to add more shadows right here, so I applied some more black there. And same thing wherever I feel like I want to make it more darker here. Again, I'm not thinking too much here. I'm just applying some black very lightly, just using like tip of my brush first and then smudging out the paint then. Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm not too worried about this again bottom area because I'm gonna add nice big a small little hill there for the trees, but I'm almost done. Just going on some more places here. Now you can again step back a little bit, check if you wanna add more shadows, you can do that, but I think I'm done. Now I'm gonna use brown color here to add the hills on the bottom. So I clean my brush and I'm using a middle round brush for this, and I take some brown and applying the shape of something like this, I'm sorry, and again this is just a little hill where I can add my trees here. Okay, and I'm also going to do the same thing on the other side. Apply a nice big hill. This one is a little bit closer, so it's nice and big. And I don't know why, but I feel like I want to make this a little bit pointy. Alright, I think this is looking good. Now I also want to add a little bit of black color. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of black now. And I'm mostly gonna apply on the top of this little hill. And just some on the bottom, and blending this color with the brown I have there. That's gonna add more shadows, more texture to this hill. And I'm also adding more of this color on the edges too. Alright, I'm also gonna do the same thing on the other side. Not to worry about this one because it's in the back. It's a little bit far away from the first one here. But I'm just gonna apply some shadow also on the bottom. So the shadow of this hill on the water, so I'm just using a black color and the thin black paint, just lightly brushing on the bottom of this hill like this. Okay, I think this is looking good. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean my brush and I'm gonna add trees. So I'm gonna use my small brush for this, and I'm gonna use just a black color for the tree trunk and the branches. Now I like to start my trees from the top. If you like to start from the bottom, you can also start from the bottom. It just gives more control if I start from the top for me somehow. So I started from the top, just use tip of my brush. As I come down, I use more pressure on this brush and make the bottom area a little bit more thicker, wider for this tree trunk. Okay, I go back again to make the bottom area a little bit more thicker, more wider again, and then I'm gonna add some branches here now. So I add one on the bottom, just gonna add one big one on the top. Same thing on the other side. I added more branches on the branches. Now I don't want to over apply branches here, so I'm mostly gonna apply like maybe 6 or 7 branches on each tree. So I added a big branch on the other side and a smaller branch on that branch. Alright, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna do with this tree. I'm gonna add some more trees for this area here. Now this tree are all the way in the back, it's not too big, so I'm gonna add smaller tree trunk and some small branches. And I also overlap that fall area a little bit with this line here. I go back on this tree again to make it a little bit more taller and bring it closer to the fall. Okay, so now I also have some taller tree. You cannot see the tree trunk, but you can see a branch here coming out like this. And I'm just gonna add maybe like 3-4 branches like this. So you can see the one big branch, smaller branches on that. I'm gonna add one more bigger branch on the bottom like that, and just gonna add some couple more branches on that. Alright, so one more branch just on the top here. Alright, so yeah, here I'm all done with adding some branches and tree trunk. I'm gonna clean my brush and I'm gonna use a different brush here because I'm gonna work on the leaves. You can say flowers, whatever you wanna call. I'm gonna say flowers. Alright, so now I'm not gonna use this round brush. I'm gonna use a different brush from this little bag I have here, and it is number 8 size. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding some colors here for my flowers. I'm gonna start with the darker color first. I'm gonna use black and red, and I'm just gonna keep adding lighter and lighter color. So I'm gonna start with the dark color again. I'm gonna mix the red and black here. So I'm gonna use more red and just a little bit of black, and I'm gonna mix it on my plate. And I'm mostly gonna apply this on each branches I have here. So for example, for this, I'm just gonna add some dabs closer to that branch, just adding like 3-4 dots, you can say. Okay, so bigger branches, smaller branches, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna apply close to the each branch that I have. Same thing for this little tree, and same thing for this bigger tree on the top here. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to my next color, which is red. I clean my brush and I'm only gonna use plain red here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go back on that area again, and I'm just gonna add some dots like that, dabs. I'm not completely covering the dark red I have in the background. You still can see that, and you can also see this new red color here. And this is my actually favorite part, applying this red on top of that foliage. I don't know why, it just looking so good. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And yeah, I'm just applying some red like that, some bunch of dots, dabs, whatever you want to call. Now I also have some area where I don't have any branch, but I'm still gonna apply this color, especially in the middle of this bigger tree here. So let me finish this one first. Alright, so now on this area here in the middle, I feel like it's empty, but there are some branches, you cannot see that. So I'm just gonna apply some red here, also there, some on the bottom here. And I also have this darker blue still left, so I'm just gonna apply some darker blue on the bottom. Alright, so there you go. And I add one more layer of this red and go back again on those area where I feel like it's still not as bright red as I want. So I go back with some more red on the top, also make the area a little bit more bigger. And I also have some flowers, some of these leaves also fall down on the ground, so I'm also gonna add this red on the ground here. I'm just kind of adding little dashes, you can say here. So something like this on both sides. Now this part you can skip it if you like, but I'm gonna do this. So I clean my brush. I just take a little bit of water with the red and I apply this red on the water like this. So you can see the reflection of these leaves, but in this way. Alright, so I clean my brush. I'm gonna use a yellow color here now. So I started with the yellow first and just gonna apply very lightly. I don't want to use too much yellow here because I also want to use a little bit of pink later. So I'm just gonna use yellow. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but I apply some yellow by mistakenly on the fall, but I'm not gonna clean that out. I like that yellow there. I don't know why. Okay, so but yeah, if you also make mistake like this, just let it dry completely, add whatever color you like on the top. That's the best part about using acrylic paint. Okay, so now I'm also going to do the same thing on this other tree. So I'm not going to apply too much of this yellow. I'm going to apply some pink later. So and just like I did with the red color, I'm also gonna add some yellow on the ground and also some on the water like this. Now I really want to use a lot of pink here, so I clean my brush and I'm gonna mix the red and a white color together. I'm gonna use less red, more white, and I'm gonna again do the same thing. Started applying this color. Okay, so I grabbed some more white because I know I'm gonna use a lot of pink here. Alright, so as you can see, I take a lot of white here and just a little bit of red. I'm gonna mix it all together. Alright, now I'm gonna just start applying from the top here for each branch again, mostly just going on the top of this each area. I'm just lightly adding this color first, and then I'm gonna add some more pink. And you know what, you don't have to just use the colors I'm using here. You can just maybe make your tree, I guess, purple. That's a good color. You can use any other color here if you like for your trees. You don't have to use the same color I'm using here. Okay, same thing again on the ground. I'm gonna add some more of this color on the ground and also on the water again. Okay, so now, yeah, you can say I'm just kind of playing around. I'm just adding more pink, some more red, and just want to add the colors that I don't see more here. So I feel like I want to add more red, so I'm gonna go back with some more red here. Alright, so here I'm all done. One last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some splashes on the bottom here. Now I'm gonna use my flat brush. You can also use a small brush if you like, or any other brush you like. I'm just gonna use my flat brush here. Now make sure you don't have any water on this brush. It's nice and dry. And I'm gonna use some white paint. Alright, so you can also use a fan brush if you have a fan brush. I'm not gonna use a fan brush here because I want to keep it very simple, because not everybody have this brush here. So let me grab my white paint first, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of paint on my brush, and actually I'm just gonna clean that brush on side of my plate like that, so I don't have too much paint there. And I'm just adding some depths like this. As I'm adding depths, I'm also moving my brush. Okay, I take a little bit more paint here and clean it on the side again. Same thing again, I'm gonna add this type of depths turning my brush like this. Okay. And you can also add some more lines for the splashes, like starting like from the bottom and bring it up a little bit if you like, if you like to do it that way. But I'm just gonna keep it very simple. I don't want to apply too much splashes here, but this is all I'm gonna do. And I'm also gonna apply this white on the water down here. Okay, so I'm almost done. Just one more thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of white also on my tree trunk. And I'm using my same flat brush here. If you want to use a small brush, you can also use that. And I'm just mostly applying this white on thicker branches, not all of them. Okay, so yeah, here I'm all done. Alright, so yeah, here I'm all done with this painting. I hope you guys all have fun painting with me. And if you do, give a big thumbs up and also like this video. And please share your painting with me. I love to see your painting. And yeah, I will see you next time. Make sure you clean your brushes. And yeah, I will see you next time for another painting or any DIY. Alright, bye.